to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my first trimester since I've never made a video on it. I'm talking about basically my symptoms, kind of what I used, and just anything first trimester related. So to start, I'm going to be doing my symptoms. I have them written down on my phone screen, so I will be looking at them and reading them out and kind of talking about them, so we don't get lost and we don't miss anything, and it's all there. At first, I had no symptoms at all. Like I wouldn't even know I was pregnant if it weren't for the test. Up until I think about 8 weeks, I had no symptoms, and then I started getting cramping. It felt like period cramps. Like I have really bad period cramps, so they were like a milder version, but they still weren't pleasant. Then moving forward to 8 weeks, that's when the actual nausea started to come into play a lot more. Like if I did not eat as soon as I woke up, within 30 minutes I'd be dry heaving, so it was pretty awful, and I had to constantly eat throughout the day. That was the only thing that I found actually helped my morning sickness, if you can't even call it that. It's more like it's all day sickness. It wasn't so bad. I never actually threw up. It was just so uncomfortable. It felt like hunger pain but with nausea, and it was just so I felt just blah all the time, and I never got any relief from it up until a few weeks into my second trimester. The next symptom I was so tired all the time. Like I could just nap anytime, anywhere. Like it was ridiculous. I'm not really much of a napper. I used to sleep really early and wake up really early, and I just slept all the time. I'd be asleep at like 10 p.m. then I'd be sleeping till noon the next day. I'd have a nap like 2 hours after I woke up, and then I had another one like after dinner. It was ridiculous. I was always sleeping. I don't know. I was just so tired all the time, and I didn't know how to make it stop. I guess it was just all the hormones and the changes that my body was going through, and everything was just so much for me that I just needed to sleep. The next thing was waking up to pee. And this wasn't because like my bladder was being pushed on. I was told, I don't know if this is true or not, but I was told by a few different mothers that the reason that in the first trimester you wake up to pee is because your body is getting ready to be up constantly at night after the baby's born, and it's like a natural instinct type thing. And I'm not sure if that's true, but I've been told multiple times that that's what that was, so I'm assuming that's what that was. But I got up to pee constantly, and I was never someone to wake up and go pee, but I would wake up and go to the washroom like 3 to 4 times a night. It was kind of annoying, but I got used to it over time. The next symptom I have was bloating. I got so unbelievably bloated. My belly honestly got as big as it is now by the end of the day. In the morning it was this tiny little bump and it was so cute, but at the end of the day I had this fucking huge belly, and it was just all air, and it was so uncomfortable, and I didn't know how to help it, because the only way I used to help bloat when I would have periods and whenever I would have bloat before I was pregnant, I would apply a heat pack. I was just too nervous to do that because I wasn't sure if it would affect it, and I know heat and like baths and all these different things are things that can affect your baby, so I just stayed away from that. I would just lay down and just kind of relax and deal with the bloat. Moving on to cravings. I craved like berries and fruits and stuff all the time during my pregnancy, but my body hated them. Every time I would have berries, it would literally come right back up, but it's all I wanted. I don't know why. I just wanted berries, especially raspberries. I also craved but had an aversion to greasy foods. So I wanted McDonald's all the time, but I also couldn't stomach it half the time. It was like a hit or miss thing. I would want McDonald's and I would get it and I'd eat it and I'd like chow it down and it'd be so good, or I'd be craving it and then once I smelt it I'd be like, no, I can't eat it. I don't even want to look at it. The next thing I had aversions to was Kraft dinner, and if you know me, you would know that my favorite food ever since I was a little kid is Kraft dinner. It'd be the same kind of thing as the McDonald's. I would crave it, but then as soon as I would smell it or try and eat it, it'd be like, get that away from me. Don't want to eat it. I don't want it near me. Like it was gross. That's all I had for cravings and aversions. Moving on to how I survived my first trimester. Protein shakes. Protein shakes, protein shakes, protein shakes. They saved my life. When I felt so sick that I couldn't eat, protein shakes would help so So much to the point where if I was feeling like I was gonna throw up, I would drink a protein shake and then I'd be able to eat a meal after that. So it would kind of suppress the sickness almost, so I can have a meal and feel better. The next thing was toast. When I was so nauseous that I just couldn't stomach the idea of food, so I'd have a plain piece of toast, not even have butter on it. Sometimes it would, sometimes it wouldn't. It was just depending on how bad I felt that day. The next one is chewing ice. I know what you're gonna say, it's because you have low iron. No, I've done that ever since I was a kid. I've always loved it. But chewing on ice tricked my brain into thinking that I was eating food, so my hunger pains would go away and my nausea would go away, so then I could actually eat. And that was like all the time. I was always eating cups full of ice. That's everything that I craved for the first bit of my pregnancy. So we're gonna move on to products. I started using a belly butter. It's a beeswax. It's a Rocky Mountain soap. It's a Canadian brand. It's made with organic shea butter, calming lavender, and local beeswax. It's supposed to smell like citrus and lavender. It doesn't smell amazing. You can barely smell the citrus, and the lavender is kind of overpowering sometimes, and sometimes it's the other way around, but it's been really good to me. I applied it on my stomach, on my chest, my arms, and my thighs because I was terrified of getting stretch marks. The second thing was my prenatals. I took Centrum. I don't have them anymore because they are in the garbage. I switched from those to Jameson prenatal. Don't have those either because both of them made me so nauseous. So the last bit is kind of body changes, what the baby looked like in the first trimester. I got really bloated. I had a tiny bump by the end of it. My skin was not clear, like it was so bad, as if I was about to get my period. And my hair, same thing. It just got greasier faster. Also, my skin was really oily. And as of weight, I did gain 6 pounds in the first 3 months. Before I got pregnant, I was like 102 pounds. And then by the end of the first trimester, I was 108 roughly. So roughly 6 pounds is what I gained. And here's what the baby looked like. I'll insert a better picture so you can see it better, but that's just the thing of it. He was just a little bean then. He was so small compared to now. I think I've covered all the topics. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.